The Galactic Council's chamber floated in the orbit of a dying blue star, a cathedral of glass, light, and arrogance. Beneath its vaulted dome, ambassadors of 100 species shimmered in their varied forms, crystalline, metallic, scaled, vaporous. All spoke in voices that could move empires. At the center of that vast arena stood one man, Ambassador Elias Grant, representing the recently returned species known simply as humanity. They had been gone for centuries, silent, rebuilding after the fall of their first interstellar age. Many believed them extinct. Others whispered that humans had retreated to their cradle world to prepare for something worse. Now humanity was back, and the galaxy trembled, unsure whether to welcome or contain them. The Zareth speaker, tall and angular, its voice like crushed glass, began the session. Humanity, by vote of the Council, your return must be accompanied by tribute, a demonstration of loyalty to galactic law and the collective peace we have maintained for 1,000 years. The demand echoed through the chamber, translated into every known tongue. Elias did not flinch. His gaze drifted across the assembly, catching the faint glimmer of condescension in alien eyes, pity from those who saw humans as newcomers, threats, or remnants of a violent past. Another voice rose. The Valoth High Chancellor, smooth and cold. You will provide 10 billion in resource credits and the mining rights to Sol's outer systems. Refuse and your vessels will be barred from Council-controlled space. Elias folded his hands. You call this peace? We call it order, hissed the Zareth speaker. Defiance leads to chaos. You humans have always needed supervision. A low murmur rolled through the chamber. Laughter from some, irritation from others. Even the oldest species, the ones who still bore scars from humanity's first expansion, looked uneasy. Elias tapped his datapad once, activating a holoscreen behind him. Images flickered to life. Humanity's wars of survival, cities reborn from ash, ships forged in orbital foundries above a scarred Earth. We rebuilt ourselves without your help, he said quietly. We asked nothing. We took nothing. And now you demand tribute? The chamber grew tense. It is the law, the Valoth replied. All who enter the galactic order must pay. Elias leaned closer to the microphone, voice calm, too calm. Then hear humanity's answer. Every translator drone froze mid-air. Every ambassador leaned forward. Every broadcast relay across the stars tuned in. Our answer, Elias said, is no. A single syllable, amplified through every corner of the console hall. No. The word hung like a weapon. The air thickened. The chamber fell utterly silent. Even the Zareth speaker paused, mandibles twitching in disbelief. In that moment, 1,000 memories awakened, fleets burning in the void, planets falling silent, and the terrible realization that humanity had never been conquered, only waiting. And as Elias turned and walked away, his voice whispered through the comlink to Earth. They've asked their question. Now the galaxy will hear our echo. The Council's decree was unanimous. Humanity was to be sanctioned, silenced, and contained. Across the core worlds, the order spread like wildfire through encrypted channels. All trade to and from Sol was forbidden, all Terran assets frozen, and all colonies marked rogue territories. To the Council, this was mercy, a warning before war. To humanity, it was an invitation. Within a week, the effects rippled outward. Hyperlanes went dark. Terran transports vanished at border checkpoints. Council patrols seized Earth's supply ships, broadcasting their compliance for the preservation of peace. The galaxy thought humanity would beg. They remembered the old Terrans, fractured, desperate, outnumbered. They didn't know what the new Terrans had become. From the void of soul, transmissions began to emerge, encrypted, silent bursts across hidden relays. Entire stations shifted from civilian use to classified protocol iron veil. On Mars, dormant shipyards awakened after a century of stillness. On Titan, drills roared to life, pulling not fuel, but weapons from the ice. The Council mistook the quiet for surrender. So when their first enforcement fleet arrived at the Sol border, they expected compliance, not confrontation. The 7th Galactic Enforcement Armada, commanded by Admiral T. Wren of the Volof Dominion, dropped from slipspace in perfect formation. Hundreds of gleaming ships arrayed against one small planet and its moon. The Admiral opened the channel. To the human representatives of Sol, you are ordered to stand down and prepare for inspection. Failure to comply will be interpreted as an act of war. Silence. Her comms officer glanced at her. No reply, Admiral. She leaned forward. Transmit again. But before she could, a new signal blinked onto the holodisplay. A single human face, calm, resolute, eyes unreadable. This is Admiral Reyes, Terran Defense Command. You entered Sol space uninvited. You have one chance to turn around. Tiren laughed. Do you think your primitive fleet can threaten us? Your ships are obsolete. Reyes tilted his head slightly. Who said anything about ships? The signal cut. Moments later, every alien ship's sensor array screamed. The void around them rippled, distortions blooming like invisible storms. Stealth fields peeled back to reveal black, angular vessels sliding from the dark, each bristling with energy signatures never recorded before. The first volley hit before Tiren could issue an order. Precision strikes, not random chaos, but surgical annihilation. Entire cruisers split open in silence, their energy cores collapsing inward. Her officers screamed over the comms, "They're using quantum rail compression! That's impossible!" They adapted. They were watching us the whole time. In less than 7 minutes, the 7th Armada was gone, reduced to burning debris orbiting the edge of Sol. A single transmission echoed through the Council's networks, sent from Earth itself. No threats, no gloating. Just one sentence. We pay no tribute, only consequences. News of the Sol massacre reached the Galactic Council within hours. The footage, ships vanishing into lightless explosions, fleets erased without a single distress call, spread faster than censorship could contain it. The Council convened an emergency summit, their voices shrilled with disbelief. This is an act of war. They annihilated an entire armada. How did they develop such technology undetected? Only one voice remained calm, the aged archivist of the Vor, whose species had once fought humanity during the first expansion. You all made the same mistake we did, the archivist rasped. You thought silence meant weakness, but silence, for them, means they're listening and learning. Across the galaxy, human signatures began to appear in unexpected places. Trade convoys seized by pirates mysteriously reappeared, their attackers gone, their cargo intact. Border outposts that joined the sanctions went offline. No distress signals, no wreckage, just gone. The humans weren't invading, they were correcting. The Council tried to retaliate.
They deployed observation swarms, billions of autonomous drones meant to map and intercept human movements. Within a day, all of them were hijacked. The swarm returned, broadcasting humanity's message through every council channel. You demanded tribute. We offer memory. You've forgotten what we are. Let us remind you. Then came the echo. Every major communication array in the core systems suddenly went dark for 7 minutes. When the networks came back online, every screen, from the smallest data slate to the largest planetary broadcast wall, showed one thing: Earth, blue, scarred, and alive. Behind it, thousands of black ships stood in perfect silence. No music, no threats, just the sight of a world that refused to kneel. Across the alien worlds, fear turned to quiet fascination. Students whispered the word no, like a sacred defiance. Merchants on fringe worlds began trading again with Terrans in secret. Soldiers in the border fleets asked themselves what they were really fighting for. The Zareth speaker fumed during the next council session. They seek to destabilize the order. We must crush them before others follow. But the Veloth High Chancellor no longer looked certain. Crush them? With what fleets, Speaker? The ones that no longer answer our calls? The ones defecting to neutral space? Because the Echo was doing more than spreading fear. It was spreading doubt. On a council outpost orbiting the gas world Tessarian, human envoys arrived uninvited. They wore no armor, carried no weapons. They simply delivered a message sealed in a single line of text. The galaxy is vast, but respect is earned, not demanded. And as they left, every ship in orbit detected a strange signal pulsing from the planet's storm clouds. Human code, repeated endlessly through the winds. No. The word that once sounded like rebellion had become something far larger. A statement of identity. A warning. And soon, the galaxy began to wonder, what happens when the echo becomes a roar?
The Galactic Council's grand chamber no longer glowed with arrogance, only fear. The walls that once shimmered with pride now trembled with incoming transmissions from collapsing fleets and lost colonies. Entire systems had gone dark, not from invasion, but from withdrawal. Humanity wasn't attacking. They were removing themselves from the galactic order piece by piece. Trade routes once dependent on Terran technology failed overnight. Food synthesizers stopped functioning. Hyperlane relays collapsed without human engineers to maintain them. The galaxy was discovering the truth. Humanity's tribute had been paid long ago in knowledge, infrastructure, and trust. They had built the very order that now turned on them. And now, quietly, they were taking it all back. The Zareth speaker slammed its claws against the table. They will ruin everything. Without the Council's stability, we'll fall into chaos. From the shadows, a new voice answered, calm, human, and near. You already have. The chamber froze as Ambassador Elias Grant stepped into the light once more, flanked by 2 Terran guards in matte black armor. No one had seen him since his defiant no. He walked with quiet confidence, the kind that doesn't need permission to exist. You violated our sovereignty, Elias said. You sanctioned our people, attacked our fleets, and tried to starve our world. But you didn't just attack humanity. You attacked the memory of everything we built together. The Volloth Chancellor hissed. You think yourself righteous? You've destabilized the entire council. Elias's gaze was unflinching. We didn't destabilize it. We revealed it. He turned towards the center of the chamber. A projection flared to life, a galactic map. Thousands of points blinked red, each representing a system now outside council control. Human colonies, independent stations, and newly allied worlds glowed like stars reborn. You demanded tribute, Elias continued. You demanded loyalty. But we don't serve fear. We build. We remember. And when pushed, he paused, his voice tightening. We remind. The projection zoomed out further. The galaxy itself was now half-shadowed. Human-controlled sectors spreading faster than the Council could comprehend. But there were no war banners, no declarations of empire, just one signal pulsing through every network on every frequency. No. The word had become more than defiance. It was unity, a declaration spoken by countless voices, human and alien alike, across the void. The chamber erupted in panic. Ambassadors shouted, demanded sanctions, fleets, anything. But the Council's systems were already shutting down. One by one, lights dimmed as human code infiltrated their networks. Elias stood unmoved in the dark. We never wanted your war, only your respect. But you mistook silence for submission. Now you'll learn that humanity's peace is not bought with tribute, it's earned through balance. He turned to leave as the chamber's power flickered out completely. Through the windows, the dying blue star pulsed, and then, for the briefest moment, it shone brighter. As Elias stepped onto his shuttle, a final transmission echoed across the entire network. The same voice, the same calm tone. The Council demanded tribute. Humanity answered. The galaxy listened. And somewhere, between the stars, the echo became a roar.